On a freezing night in February 1959, 9 experienced hikers set up camp on a remote mountain slope in the Ural Mountains of Russia. By morning, they would all be dead. But here's the mystery that haunted the world for over 60 years. Their bodies were scattered across the snowy terrain, some stripped of clothing, bearing injuries that made no logical sense. What killed them? Today, we finally have answers. Welcome to SherlockMode. The Dyatlov group was led by Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old hiking enthusiast with a passion for mountain expeditions. 9, strong, experienced, fearless. They were not amateurs. These were skilled mountaineers who had trained together, prepared meticulously, and knew how to survive in harsh conditions. They began their trek on January 27, 1959, full of excitement and hope. For days, everything went according to plan. They hiked through valleys, crossed rivers, and climbed toward their destination. But on February 1st, something changed. The weather shifted dramatically. A storm rolled in with terrifying speed. The group decided to set up camp on a slope called Kholat Syakhl, about 5,000 feet above sea level, a decision that would prove fatal. Days passed. The hikers never arrived at their destination. When searchers finally located their tent 3 weeks later, it was cut open from the inside. The hikers had fled into the darkness, without proper clothing, without flashlights, without explanation. 8 bodies were discovered on the surrounding slopes. One was found much later, hidden beneath snow and ice. The bodies told a horrifying story. 4 of the hikers had severe chest and skull fractures. 2 were missing their eyes. 1 had lost his tongue. Some were found naked despite temperatures dropping far below freezing. How does this happen? What force could cause such trauma? Theories exploded across the world. Was it a Yeti? A military experiment? An alien encounter? For 60 years, this mystery remained unsolved. The Soviet government sealed the files. Conspiracy theories multiplied. But in 2022, something remarkable happened. 2 Swiss scientists named Puzrin and Gome decided to investigate. They traveled to the Dyatlov Pass in the exact season, in the exact conditions of that fateful night. What they discovered changed everything. The scientists found something that the 1959 rescue teams could not. Evidence of slab avalanches. These are not ordinary avalanches. They are silent, deadly slides of compacted snow that can strike on surprisingly gentle slopes, releasing with almost no warning. And here is the turning point. The scientists proved that the Dyatlov group had camped directly in the path of such an avalanche. The terrible night unfolded like this. The hikers were asleep in their tent when the slab avalanche struck. The force was immense. Some were killed instantly by the crushing weight and impact. Others survived the initial collapse but were buried, injured, disoriented. In panic and confusion, the living dug themselves free. But they emerged into absolute darkness in a raging storm, injured, traumatized, and separated from their supplies. Desperate and freezing, they fled downslope. Some attempted to reach shelter under a nearby cedar tree miles away. Others collapsed from injuries and exposure. The cold was relentless, minus 40 degrees, no adequate clothing, no hope of rescue. They succumbed one by one to hypothermia and their wounds. The autopsy injuries? Caused by the avalanche's crushing force as the massive slab fell on them. The mystery of missing eyes and tongue? The scientists explained this too. Scavengers, decomposition, and the harsh mountain environment account for these disturbing details. The missing clothing? In extreme hypothermia, victims often remove their clothes in a phenomenon called paradoxical undressing. The body becomes confused about temperature regulation. In 2022, the same scientists returned and witnessed the avalanche evidence themselves. Snow slab avalanches created visible scars on the exact location where the Dyatlov group had camped. Within hours, fresh snowfall covered the evidence, erasing the proof. This is why the 1959 rescue teams saw nothing. The avalanche had already been buried by 3 weeks of subsequent snow. The tragedy of the Dyatlov Pass was not supernatural. It was not a conspiracy. It was a collision between human choice and natural forces. 9 experienced mountaineers chose a camp location that, under normal circumstances, would have been safe. But the mountain had other plans. A slab avalanche, silent and sudden, changed everything in seconds. Today, the Dyatlov Pass incident serves as a powerful reminder. Nature does not care about our experience or preparation. The mountains are magnificent but merciless. And sometimes, the most terrifying explanation is not the one we imagine in our minds, but the one backed by cold, hard science. If you enjoyed unraveling this mystery, like and subscribe to Sherlock Mode.